Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Journey with Joe, where we're going to talk with awesome entrepreneurs, business owners, moguls who are doing some awesome stuff and changing the world. First, I want to start and thank our sponsor, Tim at Comma Insurance. He is the man with the plan. Reach out to him for all your home insurance needs. Today, I am super excited to have the Candy Queen herself in her heart shirt, looking all fancy. Jackie Sorkin here joining us, and we are going to have a little bit of fun. So thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to be with my friend Joe Soto.
Yeah, this is good. This is super exciting. I think we've known each other for a while and have like regular kind of fun talk, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to dig a little bit, and I'm looking forward to getting to know more about you, not just the fun Jackie, right? But how you became who you are, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't come out, unicorn and sprinkles? You had to, there was a process to that. And I think especially in what you do, right? Where it's high energy, rah, right? Like, it's hard to be that all the time, one.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get there because most people aren't there, right? So let's talk a little bit about growing up, right?
Sure.
Talk to me about family life, a little bit of background. Give me a little bit about where you grew up and all of that fun stuff. Not about how you got lost around here.
Yeah.
We'll leave that out.
I think I'm known for that high energy personality, bubbly, sparkly, whatever words you want to throw in there. I was a hyper creative kid. I was also very much a loner and I was a latchkey kid. My daughter of two immigrants, they met on a bus in Hollywood. My father's from Argentina, mother's from Mexico, met on a bus, fell in love, had these kids. And my parents worked. They created their own American dream. So starting at 6 years old, they would go work in their at their corporate job, which they were so proud of. And they would get so dressed up for work. My memories of my parents are like so dressed up.
Really?
My mother was like a glamazon. My dad is just wonderful, like just dude that everybody loved, Georgie.
Yeah.
And they worked for an aerospace company in the South Bay, actually. Honeywell.
Okay.
So total corporate parents, but they would leave the house 4 a.m. and come back at almost 7 p.m. every day. And I just knew that from 6 years old onward. So
wow,
that's a lot of time for a kid to be alone and kind of raising themselves. One brother, I became very independent early on. I think as a kid, I had a lot of social awkwardness. I was shy. I had a lot of struggles as a kid, learning struggles, learning disabilities, personal struggles, very hardcore weight struggles as a kid. So I withdrew from most things, but my creative mind is what I think saved me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was really, I loved my dolls. I loved my Cabbage Patch dolls, my Barbies. And I pretended to be a talk show host with them. That was, my outlet.
That was your outlet. That was your escape.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think a lot of kids struggle with finding that escape, especially in a world where we live in where it's iPad.
Yeah.
Right.
Scary.
It's your mind went to a fun place, even at a young age, right? It was like having the fun with the dolls and doing certain things because it's easy to go the other way and be, in a rut.
I think I was just, I always knew my life was going to be something unusual. I don't know how I knew that so young, but it was always told to me too. Or people would you meet some people and there's just something about them that is a little off or different and I think I was one of those. And things just really evolved for me. And all that creative time and loneliness, some really good stuff happened. I think the creative abilities developed because that was just my outlet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So hardworking parents, left the house at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Came back at night, like true latchkey kid. Because I was one of those.
Yeah.
Right, where you're just like, figure it out, make yourself dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think it requires you to be very independent. I think it requires you to learn a lot of street smarts. Yep. And they did the best that they could. But I think you just are raising yourself. So it's a different ballgame. And I think it does kind of perpetuate like extreme independence and you got to have balls, and like that is one thing that happened for me really young. Yeah. Because a lot of stuff that I dealt with, my parents had no clue was going on.
Oh, really?
Bullying, things at school, learning issues. I never complained. I never said anything. I never said, help me. I just withdrew and my room /cave was I don't know, my sanctuary where all my magical things happened for me, but nobody knew about it.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was also like a darkness, right? Like that's where you would go. That was your safe place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It was my space. So whatever I wanted to do in there, and it typically was always creative. I was always creating, making things, dreaming up things, pretending to have my own shows with all of my sort of stuffed animals and Barbies. I just remember it. Yeah. And I was like the talk show host to all my stuffed animals. I don't know. It was like a weird
You were Toy Story before Toy Story.
Yeah. It was like I just remember that so vividly that those were my friends. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry about it, but whatever, good things happen from it, so who cares?
I was the same growing up. So I grew up in a big Puerto Rican family.
Yeah.
My mom, I'm an only child.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Only child.
Oh my goodness.
My mom got it right the first time.
Yeah.
So she's like, no more kids.
Wow.
This is perfection. El rey está aquí.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But I have lots of aunts and uncles, right? And so I grew up with a big family, but I was also really quiet.
Yeah.
So growing up, I was like really to myself and didn't, I grew up where you speak when you're spoken to, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was always that same guy where like I was always to myself. And then one day it was like, Joe discovered his personality in the world. So how did you come out of that?
Oh, that's so funny. That's like even in our friendship where I'm like, Joe Soto, you and I are like brother and sister. Because it's funny that you say that because I think similarly that happened for me. Like people have always, now I'm known, she's, energy and so positive and personality. And I think that all that loneliness, sadness, darkness, struggle maybe is what propelled, the desire to just want to make people happy and to make them feel seen and like it's okay. And maybe that it's like therapeutic for me too.
Yeah.
So I understand what you just referred to as that moment. I don't know when my moment of I'm amazing happened, but
yeah, for me, it was like being a class clown for a little bit, right? Like started to come out of my shell.
Yeah.
And then something happened when I went to college.
Interesting.
Where it was like, woo!
Yeah.
Life of the party. And, it was funny, but for a long time, it was like I was the quiet kid and I was the chunky kid.
Wow.
I wore sweatpants all the time because everything my mom would try to buy me was in husky.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, me too.
They make skinny fit stuff.
Yeah.
But everything for bigger kids
word.
is like husky. My mom would be like, he's a 18 husky.
He's
and I'd
husky.
Be like,
yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
So I was really quiet. So like, when did you start coming out of your shell? Like high school, college? I'm guessing probably through high school, you're probably still pretty quiet.
Yeah, no, all of my schooling was just a nightmare for me. I don't have any good memories of it.
Really?
I run into people. Yeah, it's funny. Even we're in a community where people love like the high school.
Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah, where'd you go to high school? What year did you graduate? And I'm always I don't even remember. I really don't.
I get asked all the time. I'm like, I went to Fort Hamilton. They're like, where's that?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's in Brooklyn. They're like, ooh.
Yeah, no clue.
They think I'm gangy. They think I'm like a badass, right? Because
yeah.
they're like, you went to school in Brooklyn. Like, that seems
so
tough.
Funny.
Yeah.
It sounds hardcore.
But that's right. Everybody asks, right?
Yeah. And I just, I would say that those years for me, I just got through them. For me, I got through all of the schooling, elementary, middle school, high school. It honestly was a blur to me because it's not wonderful memories for me. I just remember wanting to avoid everything and everyone. So it's interesting when I run into anyone from that era and they say, "You're great," like everybody, and I don't remember any of that. I block it out. So life started to really change for me. I guess those early college years, and then I dropped out when I realized the entrepreneurial side of me was screaming for me to do something different. And because of I have dyslexia and learning disabilities, I literally could not pass math. It was crazy.
Really?
So I'm really sensitive to, I get how kids are also different. And I appreciate when like accommodations are made or like new ways of teaching kids how to learn stuff. I didn't have that opportunity, but I was super smart and did so well with everything right-brained. But math and sciences debilitated me. So I thought, I'm never going to get a degree because I can't pass this stupid ass algebra class.
Really?
And after 11 times, and then at the end of that college run, bribing the instructor, I just said, I'm so desperate. look at my grades. Like, I'm so good at so many other things.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you could just pass me, or could we make an arrangement? So I think that that part of my brain that was like, come on, negotiate.
Negotiate. Yeah.
I didn't know it was like illegal in college to do that.
Yeah.
And when I saw the reaction from the instructor, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. I was so scared.
Yeah.
And it caused me to just make this decision. I had an opportunity in New York with a business mentor that knew me from when I was a very little girl. And he just said, come out to New York. I have an opportunity for you. And I was running summer camps and said, this is an amazing business. And he taught me everything I knew. But yeah, I kind of escaped college and said, I'm going to run away to New York at 19 with $400. And I did it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's where that pivot happened.
What year was that?
Dude, well, I don't even remember when I graduated to what, 97, 98, 99, maybe?
Early 90s?
99.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
99.
you went that way and I was coming this way around that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, New York did something really special for me. Like, I just
Really?
felt so liberated. And I was this young girl in Manhattan working in Times Square.
Big city, bright lights.
Oh my gosh.
You're
And
like, I got this.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to be free. And
Yeah.
I knew that maybe my talents were different.
Yeah.
So I was just around a lot of salespeople and kind of created my own path. I started one of my first businesses out there,
Really?
a program for kids. That was all girls' empowerment, self-esteem. I was working on my own self-esteem and girls' empowerment. Ironically, I think, I don't know. I have a very odd story. I just knew that after leaving California and saying, like, no one's going to help me with the school stuff. No one's going to help me. They don't care if I'm dyslexic. They don't care if I can't.
No.
These are the rules, and the rules won't be bent for me, or there's no accommodation. So I got to figure out my life.
I got to figure out.
And I ran.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I did.
So it's funny. So you were like Aunt Becky before Aunt Becky was trying to get her kids into USC. You were like, just pass me, teacher. What's it gonna take?
Yeah.
Right? Or cousin Becky, whatever.
Yeah,
The Full
yeah,
House chick.
yeah.
You know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
of course.
But what I find interesting in that is so you had somebody who gave you some mentorship and said, hey, come out here, which takes a lot of balls to go to New York with not a lot of money because New York's not cheap.
Yep.
But it's kind of a sign of like, hey, I need change and I need risk and I'm going to bet on myself and let's see what happens. That type of deal.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I finally, at that point, was like, bet on yourself, girl. Like, whatever this thing is that you've got, that you've heard your whole life.
Yeah.
Even through whatever, latchkey kid, whatever, awkward kid. Like, there was still another side to me that I was like, oh no, but I've got this other piece that feels a little magical. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But people seem to respond to it. They like me. I make people feel good.
Yep.
Nobody has to know what my internal struggles are. I work through those demons myself every day. But I'm good at making people, like, I'm good at this thing. I don't know what it was called then, but I don't know if it was sales or hospitality or whatever it was.
You know, it's personality, right? And not a lot of people have that character trait, right? Like you can talk to somebody and they're like, hey, I really like her.
Yeah.
Right. And I have that to some degree. Like I
Yeah.
talk to people and
You
they're like, oh, that Joe Soto. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I can't believe,
Yeah.
For me, it's tough, right? It's tough to do that, but you have that personality and you can bring people up naturally.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people can do that. But then there's also that side of you knowing there's more in store for me than just this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that when you're saying all that, I just think we care probably. We just care about people and they feel that. And I think that when people feel disarmed very quickly, it's a wonderful feeling. Like, who is this person? And they just made me feel so seen and great. Like, that is even part of my business model.
Yeah.
Now, it's just so important for me to just make sure people feel like I see you, like, and that's
unconditionally.
it's like a wonderful feeling. We're all weirdos. We're all freaks. We're all, everybody's like to some degree. It's so funny. And my manager is my dear friend, help, all my TV crazy stuff that we can talk about. But Cameron always says, like, Jack, even in Hollywood, it just kind of feels like everyone's sort of faking it till they make it. Everyone has this level of, I don't want to use the word that it's not that we're all just a bunch of frauds, but everybody sort of internally feels a lot of these things.
Yeah.
And we all are just trying to make it. And we don't want anyone to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, what's been really helpful is let people see that.
Yeah.
That's what connects us. I don't need you to be this perfect picture. I want
Nope.
to see the hot mess that you are. So I feel great about the hot mess I am.
Yeah.
And then we bond and can do some cool stuff together.
Correct. And I think everybody's got imperfection. Everybody has struggles, but it takes, not a lot of people can be vulnerable.
That's what it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really so hard, especially for men.
Yes.
Especially Latino male, right?
Yes.
Like it's hard to be vulnerable and it's hard to just put yourself out there. And it's funny. I send a letter of the, I call it the letter of the heart. I should add you to my letter of the heart. You would really love it. And I send a letter of the heart to my database every other month. And it's these letters where I write about life and like stuff that's eaten me up and things that really have affected me.
Wow.
And it takes a lot for me to put myself out there, right? Because I grew up being very, like, I'm very personal person, right? Like I don't share a lot of my stuff. And so it's hard to put yourself out there, but when you do, people gravitate to that, right? And people need that.
Yeah, well, I love that you humanize yourself.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm like, wow, you do that?
I do handwritten letter. It's so old school. I write it. Actually, if you go in my office, there's a bunch of labels on my desk, and me and Kimmy Soto are going to go stuff some envelopes here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that is what a big differentiator too.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes sense when like people feel this closeness to you or whatever, or even the business, right?
Yeah.
The loyalty of your people. And I think that comes from us and how we are. And
Yeah.
so the vulnerability thing, I know people talk a lot about it, but it is a power.
Yeah.
It's hard to allow yourself to be exposed and say, here's all my good, here's all my amazing. I mean, you can go Google it and read about it. And but here's like who I really am.
Yeah.
And I think that the more we do that, I don't know, I just feel like it changes things. When people can just see each other for who they are.
For sure.
We don't need to put on this whole show, and this mask is unnecessary.
It comes across as inauthentic.
Yeah.
And it's BS, and people don't really like it, right? And it's just
because it doesn't feel real.
Doesn't feel real.
Yeah, feels like very gimmicky.
Feels forced. So you're in New York, which a lot of SoCal, and I'm going to stereotype a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But most SoCal people don't like to go to New York,
I know.
right? Cold weather, big city, angry New Yorkers.
So angry.
So angry. Honking the horn all the time, right?
Yes.
I remember when I took my wife there for the first time, she was mortified. We're driving through the city and people are just crossing the street. And she's like, what the heck are they doing?
She's dying.
She was dying. She's like, like it was on a roller coaster, 2 hands locked in. She's like, they're everywhere. Right. So how was that culture shock? Like, or did you just embrace it? You were like, woo, New York. Here I am.
It's very odd. I mean, I had the opportunity to start traveling to New York every summer of my life from 12 years old onward. And I was a very young girl traveling in airports. I mean, man, I really did a number on my parents, convincing them to let me do this. And I went to summer camp on the East Coast. And
really,
I looked so forward to my escape. I would just count down the days to the end of school year, pack my bags, go to my sleepaway summer camp. It was in New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Offices in New York, East Coast. And on the East Coast, summer camp, overnight camp is
It's a thing.
It's this amazing, I think it's a luxury because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
My parents did not have that. But even at a young age, I managed to negotiate my way into getting the owner of this camp to give me free summer camp. I said, I'll work.
Wow.
I was so young. I said, I'll work. I'll do anything. Like, I'll help you with whatever it is. I'll be a junior counselor, then a counselor, and then a director. And then ultimately now I bug them all the time and go, when am I going to buy the camp from you? I want it.
Really?
Because I love I love the message behind it for kids and girls especially. But yeah, you leave for 8 weeks every summer. You escape your life.
Yeah.
And I made friendships there that like they sell in the brochure, friendships that last a lifetime.
Yeah, legit.
And it's awesome. It really inspired my confidence and my growth. And I just keep saying I got big balls because that's what it did for me. When you're like on your own so young, I'm not afraid. Sometimes I'm afraid, but I'm not going to show it really, you know.
No.
Well, hey, unless I'm having a vulnerable like day and I want to show you that I'm and I'm okay with that kind of communication, but no, I think it just taught me how to go for it. And I did not know where I was going or what I was doing half the time, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
Everything is figure outable. That's one of my favorite lines.
Figure outable.
Yeah, things are figure outable. Like everything is so scary, and we're so intimidated by things we don't know, places we don't know, people we don't know. And I break it, like I always say, you're just a person. I'm a person. We probably have a lot of the same feelings and thoughts. Figure it out. Like everything is, there's always solutions. There's always a way.
There's always a way. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. So I love that part of my life, and I never wanted to lose it.
Yeah. So what business did you start first? How'd you, how did the entrepreneur part start? And
I mean,
first business you started out there in New York?
Yeah, I was, young. Like I remember, anything you could sell as a kid, I was sell. You can
really
cookies, lemonade. I'll do your makeup, girl. I didn't even know what I was doing.
So you're one of those.
I just
it's like the kid in my class who sold baseball cards, and I was like, really? He's like, well, I have 4 of these. What am I going to do with 4 cards? I'm like, all right, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, yeah. And there's like a connection to the financial part of it, where I was like, oh my gosh, if I do something, somebody will give me money for it. This isn't something that I like. This is exciting. And so when I did, travel to the East Coast, my mentor / boss helped me start this. I said, I want to speak to girls. And I taught hip hop for like 10 years. I was like, with all my weirdness, I was like, I'm a really good hip hop dancer, which was so odd. Cause I was like, I'm a nerd, but watch how good I dance.
Oh man, I got to search the internet for a video of Jackie dancing.
I don't know if you can find it. I don't know.
You can find anything
you might
on the
find
internet.
something on Instagram, but I started this program, and Girl Scouts of America was this organization that I loved because of their work with, girls, and it's so positive, and it's just all that really strong messaging that I think I needed as a kid.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to start a program. We're going to do some hip hop. It's going to be just about healthy mindset, healthy habits, have some fun together. And then we'll have a rap session is what I called it at the end. And, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of just girls connecting, talking. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I charged $20 a girl in the 90s. And I was able to connect with all these Girl Scout organizations from New Jersey to Philly, all over Westchester, all over New York. And I would go to different regions, and they would say, "Hey, the physical fix is coming." That's what I called it.
Really?
And this chick, Jackie Sorkin's coming. I didn't have a name. Nobody knew who I was. I was like, I didn't do anything. But people signed up, and it started to grow and grow. And I would say, "Oh my gosh, I have 40 girls. I have 15 girls. I have 60 girls. I have 350 girls this weekend. I have 1,000 girls." And that led to like opportunities at Madison Square Garden with like Hillary Clinton, with these big Girl Scout epic events that I became a part of. It was weird, but it was wonderful. And
that's super cool.
I just kept going.
Wow.
Yeah. But
But it all started from you wanting to help other girls.
Yeah, it was about that.
And giving them that outlet that you wanted and appreciated. Because I hear what you say, and I think she hated school. It was tough times. It was very into yourself.
Yeah.
And then you found this camp, and it was wow. Right? Like that was your joy and your safe place.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to create this other environment for other girls to have that.
Yeah.
And empower them too. Because I think that's so good, especially back in the late, that wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Right now it's
not really. Yeah.
Right. Like it wasn't like, oh, look, this is a special thing. So that's super cool.
There's just thank you. I mean, there's such a need for me to just make, not just, work with young girls, but with anybody, people in general. I want everyone to feel like, guess what? We don't all suck. The things that we tell ourselves are not true.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a little magic in them somewhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their thing. But I think we have to fight really hard to get through like all the monsters in our heads and all the stories we sell ourselves.
Yep.
Because it's just not real. I feel that weekly still. It's called self-doubt. And we all have a little insecurity.
Totally.
And you can be as bold and brave and full of personality and sparkly and adorable and awesome as you want to be. But we still have the voices in our head, and you just find a way to make them quieter and quieter. I think that's maybe the goal.
Yeah. And I think you have to work on that all the time. Like for me, I have to work on that all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And people laugh at me all the time. They're like, Joe, you're so, and I'm like, no, I work at it every day. Like Kim laughs. I have my journal and my book and my Jesus calling and my this and my that. And then I listen to a podcast, and then I do all this stuff because I really believe, like what you said, is all of it's in the head, and then sometimes that could be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
right? Where you're like, so you do need to work on it, and then you need to like give out the goodness, right? Like put yourself in a good place.
Yeah, I think you need to like put your money where your mouth is, and I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of people do that.
No.
It's like if you're gonna like be about it, then be about it. Like
Yeah.
say who you say you are is I hope who you like. We all I'm this person, and I think I'm this, but it really takes a lot of effort and consistency to like really be who you say you are. I don't think a lot of people do that, so
No,
it's not easy.
it's not easy.
But I think it is such an important piece to our success, and maybe I'm wrong, but that it works for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just that constant working on ourselves, and then it affects hopefully positive things in others or people around us, or I don't know. It's like be a ripple. I always love that line. Be a
Ooh,
ripple.
that's a good one. Be a ripple.
Like be a ripple. One tiny little thing, little tiny ripple. It just keeps going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that matters. I really do. It's a little corny, but
so in New York, is that where you met my boy Chris?
that is. That's where I met my husband, and he's like the ultimate New Yorker to me.
The ultimate New Yorker.
He just so is.
Yeah. I never see him without his Mets hat.
Never without the Mets hat. I met him with a Yankee hat. Switched to the Mets. When I met him,
Whoa!
Yeah,
we're gonna have to redo that.
I know.
A Yankee
He
hat.
always wore Yankee hats.
Oh my god!
And then some things happened, and I was like, okay, I don't know what happens with you sports guys.
I'm rooting for the underdog.
I don't know. And then it was, oh no, now it's about the Mets. I'm like, okay, boss, whatever you say. But
Good for him.
Yeah, I met him in a club called Tribeca.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget like 3 levels of like house music, and yeah, it was so New Jersey, and
so New Jersey,
here,
GTL.
Yeah, like it was like Jersey Shore in real life. It was what he felt like. But yeah, no, he was just such a lovely human and person, and yeah, we just connected, and that deep voice and that New York, like I can't speak about my husband without doing his accent, as you know.
I know. He hates it.
Oh, I don't talk like that. I'm like, yes, you do. I think I sound just like him.
You sound nothing like him.
I think I sound just like him.
You sound like Rocky Balboa.
What everybody says.
Yes, but I know it's your Chris voice. I know it's your Chris voice.
Why do you make him sound like Rocky? Because he does.
No.
Hey, babe.
He's got a different voice.
You want an omelet? I'm taking the kids. He does. He talks like that.
Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, he's just met him, and like, I don't know, in our mid-20s. And he was ready to make the trip out to California. I met him, and that guy was like, I'm going to move to Miami. I was like, for what? You just met the girl of your dreams, right? And yeah, I think he's an engineer.
Yeah.
I was just ready.
So you guys are different personalities.
Oh my God, we're so
yin
engineer.
and yang, right? Yeah. Because you're not engineer at all. You're like, keep me away from the math.
Yeah. We're so opposite.
Yeah.
And his temperament is so calm, even keel, and just kindest, nicest. It's so funny you said you're reading Jesus Calling, because that's what he's reading last night.
Yeah.
And I just put it away this morning. And just a lovely human that needed a little spark of crazy woman in his life or something.
Yeah. No, I feel like we always need that balance, right? Like if you met somebody like you, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Right? But
never.
You never, right? 2 Jackies would be like chaos.
Oh my gosh, like an atomic bomb.
Like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to have that person who balances you out.
Yeah.
And is there to support you and keep you from being crazy, right? Like you're still gonna be up and down, right? But at least you're not so far up and so far down.
Yeah. And just, I think someone that's very supportive, and just, he really just he trusts me and believes in me, and like believes in all these crazy ideas I've had. And when we were able to like combine his engineering brain with a lot of the creative ideas that I started coming up with. I mean, some of the best ventures we ever launched happened when we started to work together.
Really? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's worked, and he's lovely.
Nice. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I think we're going to take a quick little break.
Cool.
Shout out to our sponsor, and then we're going to get into all of the fun candy stuff.
Awesome.
Cool. Are you sick and tired of watching your annual insurance premiums go up every single year? If so, give my buddy Tim Jarvis a call at Comma Insurance for a free estimate and a look back at your insurance, whether it's home or auto. Tim is going to do a great job. He's going to shop around with different companies that he works with to make sure that you are getting the best deal possible. and stop the bleeding of that payment going up each and every renewal. Tim Jarvis at Comma Insurance, he is the man. Give him a shout, 562-883-3944. That's Tim, 562-883-3944. Tell him Joe Soto sent you. Now back to the show. Cool, and we're back here with Jackie Sorkin, super excited. So now we're going to talk about the candy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because candy, it's funny, I did a lot of recon on some of the stuff you've done, and it's super damn amazing, right?
Thank you.
I'm so oblivious to stuff, right? Like, I just know you as Jackie, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I have no idea what you do, to be honest. I'm like, candy stuff. So how'd you become Candy Queen, and how'd you kind of start that journey? Because that's, like, uncharted territory, right? Like, you can say, I'm going to open up a Chick-fil-A, and there's a map to do that.
Sure.
Right? But to do what you've done and start from like zero and there's nothing, how did like this all begin?
Yeah, I mean, I think I get that. That's probably like the number one interview question every time. I'm like, it's like a press junket or a new show launch or venture launch or whatever. I always hear like, how did you become the Candy Queen? Like, what is that?
Is that a pet name from Chris? Chris is like,
no. My
you're the
first
Candy Queen.
show on TLC was entitled Candy Queen. So I aired Cake Boss and Candy Queen.
Yeah.
And it just really
Have you
stuck.
seen me on Cake Boss yet?
Oh, that's right.
We
You had an
talked about
episode
this.
of
I was on Cake
Boss.
Boss.
You need to show me your episode of Cake Boss so I can make fun of you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do you have it? I can find
somewhere.
it.
Yeah.
Can I Google? I'm going to go find it.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
it's
then I'm
so
going to
bad.
embarrass you so bad. I can't
It's
wait.
so bad.
You had a lot of airtime?
I was like a third of the show, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to so embarrass
It's so
you. I
good,
can't wait
yeah.
to
It's
find
so, it's so bad. You're gonna be like, hey, it's freaking Joe. We're on the
no,
Cake Boss.
no, listen, you are so good at everything you do and this. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
And we do. We have that sort of like brother-sister bond.
Yep.
Joe Soto is a star, ladies and gentlemen, and very natural. And a lot of our quirks and maybe our vulnerabilities, I think we share those. The more we like connect and talk about those. And so that's your superpower. So don't lose that. So yeah, it's weird. Like you became the Candy Queen. And I don't know. Isn't like, it's just like this thing that happened. I think when I think about little me in her bedroom, I knew something interesting and different was going to happen for me. I didn't know what or how or who, none of that. I was approached when I started my candy company in 2008. I knew it was the height of the economic downturn.
Yeah.
People were freaking out. I was sort of understanding what is happening in the world. Something is making people really scared. And the climate felt so gloomy. And I thought, well, you know, what I've always known is that candy is this wonderful universal thing that is beloved by all. And it doesn't matter where you go in the world. It's so sweet and it's so simple and it's you know, kind of harmless and it just makes you feel good. And to me, the creative side of my brain as an artist said, look, candy's this incredible medium that really for me just wants to connect this message of like inclusivity and like we're all special and we're all like and we're all allowed to be happy.
If you don't like candy, like I don't know, like we got to check you because
like
who
it's
doesn't
just
like some sort of candy?
It's this happiness maker.
Totally.
And so when things were like yucky in our world, for lack of a better term, I just thought, how can I make people feel good and be happy? And I was, you know, at that time too, just figuring life out. What am I going to do? And I said, I'm going to build a website. I have an idea. I want to use candy as the tool. I'll start, you know, producing really cool events or a catering company or something. I'm going to use candy as my medium. So I started this company, Hollywood Candy Girls. I launched a $25 website. A friend that knew how to build websites said, look, I can build you a website. I like this candy idea. I don't really know what you're talking about, but let's do it. Yeah. So I said, I want to just start doing like special events and creating beautiful displays with candy, which evolved into fun foods. And, you know, Hollywood Candy Girls, that was launched in 2008 with that $25 website.
Nice.
Is now 15 years later, quite well known in SoCal. And I moved it around New York, Vegas, and, you know, anywhere where there are special events where clients are looking for really special things, moments, displays. Yeah. It just really worked. So, I kind of launched it, figured everything out as I grew.
Yeah.
And then really that evolved into producers finding me.
Yeah.
Got a random phone call one day. I was just it's so funny. My first event from that $25 website. I get a call from this girl, Kim Kardashian, 2008.
What?
And I'll never forget it. And it was like, hey, we've got this girl, Kim Kardashian. She wants to do this event at Sephora for this new lip gloss launch. Can you create some really cool stuff with candy that it kind of encompasses lip gloss and glamour? And I was like, totally. Of course I
Done,
can.
yeah.
And they were like, we love your website. And I was like, oh my God, the website I launched for $25.
WordPress.
Literally.
Shout out to WordPress.
I accidentally stole people's photos. I didn't know the internet then. I didn't know it was illegal or people would get mad. And I just wanted to like hustle, right?
Yeah,
Create
you were
this
like,
business.
I took this picture from M&M's.com.
Yeah. I was like, I think I found this on like Oprah's magazine, but whatever. It looked cute. So learned many lessons along the way. But my first event was for Kim Kardashian at Hollywood and Highland. So crazy.
That's insanity.
And after Kim, which was so weird, Paris Hilton. I get another call. Paris Hilton.
Her friend, because they were like buddies,
it was
right?
like Paris
I watched that show, whatever it was, I forget. But
Paris Simple Life with
yes.
Nicole Richie. And Paris Hilton wants s'mores. And I was like, s'mores? But she wants really cool s'mores. And I was like, okay. So ended up booking an event with Paris Hilton. And I knew I was onto something.
Wow.
I just knew, and my gut was screaming at me that this is special. This is making people feel good and happy, and they're calling you. And so kept perfecting, refining the website, booking real events, photographing real products, and I just grew from there.
Yeah.
And when I got the call from these random producers one day that were working with Cake Boss Buddy on TLC, we're looking for a female counterpart. You seem interesting. And that was a 2-hour phone call with producers. And a while later, like weeks later, production company flew out from where
Jersey?
were they? Half Yard Productions. Yeah.
Flew
out from Bethesda, Maryland.
Oh.
And they said, we want to shoot a pilot and make a sizzle reel. And I was like,
what's a sizzle reel?
I was like, of what? At your life, of you, of what you're doing. Okay. And it was interesting enough where we went to TLC, and this never happens, but we sold the show in the room to all the TLC executives, and they called me Candy Queen.
Wow.
So I was like, what are you going to shoot? Like, I'm starting my business, and but the magic of television.
How long did you have the business at that point?
Oh my gosh. 6 months? I don't know. I don't even know. But listen, what I learned was when opportunity strikes, and if you've got the confidence, and again, the balls.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, sorry. My mother will be so mad that I keep saying balls. No, I'm just going to say it to piss her off. But it's so important to have courage. Okay, let's replace balls with courage.
Okay.
Courage and the belief in, I got this. I can figure this out.
Yeah.
Everything's figure-outable.
Everything's figure-outable.
I had the business, and I got the pilot, and then I got the show, and I said, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I got a deal, a TV deal. That's, it was probably a horrible deal.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Who
That's
cares?
what happens when you're green. And I used that opportunity to just parlay Candy Queen into so many other things. Candy Queen aired in the U.S., then it aired internationally. And was able to turn that into, really learning the art of television. I respected the craft enough. I know that it's an amazing platform.
Yeah.
That led to Food Network, Cooking Channel, NBC, talk shows, Hulu, Netflix, now our new show on Food Network or Hulu, wherever it's at now.
Yeah.
I think I came from the mindset of one opportunity leads to the next. Just keep going.
Keep going.
So,
especially if you believe in it, right? Because I think when you say that, you started with that $25 website and a dream.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the world is dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is in this bad mindset, right?
Yep.
And I feel like with my industry, with the way my industry's been, a lot of people are down.
Yeah.
Right. And they're in this bad spot.
Yeah.
I feel like this is helping tremendously as far as you saying, you know what, I'm going to bet on myself.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do what I have to do in order to make it happen.
Sorry, babe. Sorry, tequila break. Very important. We are so vibing. Pour more tequila so we can keep vibing.
Yes, but you had the vision.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of, I'll change it up for mom. Cojones.
Yes.
See, there you go. What we did
Better.
for mom. That was better. But like you had the
Huevos.
vision and you believed in yourself. And I feel like there's a lot of business owners out there
Yeah.
who have a dream, who think I should do this, but don't because their friends and family and there's everybody around them tells them no.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's a risk. You're going to lose. What would you do that? Right. Like, cause that's the way 99% of people are.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. Right. And then they talk you out of being on Shark Tank or starting that 20, like somebody could have gotten in your ear or 10 people could have gotten you in your ear. And I'm sure people probably did. They were like, Candy, like,
oh yeah, they did.
what do you think? It's fucking Halloween. Sorry,
Yes.
F-bomb.
Yes.
What do you think? It's freaking Halloween.
Yes.
Right. But you were like, no, like the world needs this. Like this is something that I believe in because of, one, I can see the vision, and two, it's like the world where it's at needs this. So that's super cool.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I did hear it, and people will hurt your feelings. So again, family members, how dumb. What is she doing? What's this business? How dumb. What is she doing with Candy? Like, it's so stupid. And what I was recognizing in the business world at that time was, no, I'm seeing all these bakeries booming, cupcake stores booming. Why is nobody touching candy? Yes, candy stores exist and they're wonderful and lovely. They just exist to make us happy and go buy some candy and have a good time. But for me, it was this emotional connection to candy makes people feel good and I'm all about escapism.
Yeah.
That if we can just escape our lives, same thing that when you go to a day at Disneyland, and Disney is, Walt Disney, one of my biggest inspirations of, nobody thought that was a good idea either. And now we see what that's become in the world. But when you can tap into what's the bigger message, makes people feel good.
Yeah.
And I just want you to escape your life and your reality for a minute, because I just want you to be happy. That's what it was for me.
Yeah. And I think I saw a little video or something on that where you were just like, I want people to get away. And this is all here to make you happy. I think it was like a Miami thing that you did.
Yeah.
It was like Miami Sweet.
Miami Sweet, our last venture that we launched.
Yeah. So I saw that recently and I was like, dude, that's so cool because you're right. I always say it's impossible to be angry and grateful.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good line.
It really, truly is. Like if you're in a place of gratitude, it's really hard to be upset with your life if you're in a place of gratitude. And the same thing goes with when you're having fun like that and you're just letting loose.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to remember all of the ugliness.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think a part of my fuel is, so I love the practice of Stoicism. I don't know if you know who the Stoics are, but Stoicism is something that I was turned on to, and it's sort of a mindset. And it's really just always reminding us of our own mortality as well. Like, hey, we're all going to die. Yeah. And I know that's morbid. I know people don't like to talk about that stuff, but it helps me so much when I think about every single day of our lives, we're closer to like
the last day,
the end. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that. But Stoicism helps me so much when things feel like, oh my God, catastrophic end of the world. I'm going to freak out. It didn't work out for me. I'm going to die. Like I also have that temperament. It's probably a lot more controlled these days, but that doomsday mentality, it's a lot. It's very mild in me now. Everything, I don't know, 10 years ago was, oh my God, doomsday. Oh my God, it's not going to work out. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And I sound like such a valley girl when I say that, but I really felt it. It was just scary. And now it's like Stoicism helps with the sort of controlled, calm coolness. It just reminds you every single day we're closer to the last day.
Yep.
So no matter what happened today, chill out.
Chill out.
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Go for it. Try. Something didn't work in your favor and you really want it, try again. Everything's figure outable. Most things.
Yeah.
Most things. Not everything.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. So Stoicism has helped me really chill out and have courage and keep having the same big balls and go for things.
Yeah.
And I think as we get older too, just in like a more, I don't know what the mindset thing is so important to me.
Yeah.
Don't get scared. Don't be irrational. Nothing is as scary as it seems.
Yeah.
So that's helped me a lot.
I feel like when you're younger, you can take more risks, right? I think people are more scared to take risks, right? But I think that's when you're supposed to do it, right? Like if you're a wanting to start a business or take a risk or start that $25 website, like, don't wait for the perfect time. Just take action.
Yeah. And, people always ask me, like, how did you do this? Or, they see everything and think, whoa, like, that's crazy. No one in my family was entrepreneurial. My parents worked
corporate.
Corporate, safe, loved and respected their jobs, loved this country, lived their American dream, bought their 2-story house in a good neighborhood with good schools, and it's still the house that my mom lives in. And
nice.
I love all that, but I was just born a little different. I took all of, I guess, that, maybe their work ethic, so important, because I work like an animal every day and I will never stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of that. But to be entrepreneurial is just a very different animal.
Yeah.
So scary.
So scary.
But also...
no risk, no reward.
No, right.
Yeah.
So it could also be so rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really definitely marched to the beat of my own drum.
You definitely did. So you did you got the candy business going.
Yeah.
And then you start on the show, and the show is like totally out of your comfort zone, I'm sure, because you're trying to figure it out. You're like, I'm here. What do I do?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
That's weird, especially having the camera on you.
Oh,
like, you're the center of attention. You're the queen. Like, you're the star of the show. It's not like Candy Princess and there's somebody else who's the queen.
Yeah, no, I remember being so awkward. And I was like, oh my God, I know this big production company. Oh my God, you believed in me enough. You gave me my own show. This is probably costing millions and millions of dollars. I'm so scared. Oh my gosh, but I'll learn it. So it was, again, the courage thing, vulnerability thing. Just go for it, man. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
And I was also, totally. 8 months pregnant, and I was 150 pounds heavier. And as someone that always struggled with self-image and weight and just insecurity, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to look terrible. And it really just started to become obsessive thoughts for me. I'm going to do bad. Oh my God. And then you learn when the show airs that social media can be mean. I remember my husband got into his first Twitter battle when somebody was calling me names on Twitter saying that this candy queen, she's so fat, she looks like she eats all the candy in her shop. And I was pregnant.
And you were pregnant?
And I was overweight and pregnant, but it's all just for me. I laugh at it.
And how did Chris come to your rescue? Please tell us.
On Twitter, don't talk about my wife like that. She's the nicest person. She works hard. I was like, okay, I've never had my own show, but this thing, Twitter, that we're hearing about, I don't think you're supposed to fight with people on it.
Yeah, he was fighting.
Because
the New Yorker,
and
he
he
became
wanted
an angry
to just
New Yorker.
protect me. And
that's cool.
it was so nice. And I was like, delete it. I didn't know what to do. But we had, PR people, and none of us are as big of a deal as we think we are. And I was just kind of like, nobody cares. Okay.
Nobody cares.
But at the moment, and in the moment, it felt so scary for me.
Yeah.
And then, people were making fun of me. And then other people, of course, you get
Super
one
supportive.
bad tweet and you get 500 amazing tweets. Oh my God, this woman's amazing. Oh my God, this is so fun. She's so cute.
Yeah.
This talent is wild. And so, you take the good with the bad. And then again.
I tell you about my people who hate on me on TikTok.
No, tell me.
So I did a video on TikTok.
Oh my gosh, I want to beat them up already.
This is really funny, actually.
Now I have to go look.
I did a video on TikTok about how much money you need to make to buy $1 million house.
Yeah.
And people are on there going, this guy is a moron. He is an idiot. This is the worst financial advice ever. One person even said, he probably lives in his mom's basement. I couldn't believe it. I was like blown away. So yeah, I mean, people are mean, dude, but people are mean everywhere. I feel like the internet has given people a sanctuary to have, you know, to be tough guy. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
And whatever. I just let it roll off my back. Now I just laugh. I'm like, hey, there's no such thing as bad pub unless you're, some sort of like, there's bad pub, but at least they're checking. That's all that matters.
It's so funny when your skin gets so thick and you really know who you are. And you also know, like, let's be honest, like when you know the level of badass that you are. And it's, I hesitate saying that because it's any statements that I make that don't feel like, oh, be humble. That's important to be humble.
Yeah.
It's also really important to know who you are. And it's okay sometimes to like sometimes we got to flex a little.
Yeah.
And remind ourselves primarily. But I don't know. It's like, it's again, I know exactly who I am. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to agree or love what we do or who we are or what our message is. That's okay.
It's okay.
Because the 98% that do,
Yeah.
That's what's important.
That's what's important.
But yeah, when you put yourself out there publicly, it doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
on social media, if it's you know, in the actual media, on
Yeah.
TV, whatever. You're putting yourself out there and,
Yeah.
and you're putting yourself out there, and we will be criticized sometimes.
For sure.
And now I just laugh. I'm always like, yeah, get out of
Yeah,
here.
it's funny.
I literally, that the New York in me is like, get out of here.
Whatever.
Like I know.
Whatever.
Exactly I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. So
but-
you've done some cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really super cool designs, and like I mean, I've seen some amazing stuff. What kind of jumps out of you? You're like, dude, we did that. That was super cool.
I mean, I think the venture that put me on the map, with, you know, all these stepping stones, starting from 2008 and then 2008 and then, you know, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, when the TV show came out, and then it was national exposure and then global exposure. And then it led to a company in Taiwan when Candy Queen came out on TLC. Random phone call hits me up. We love your show in Taiwan. Our boss owns this event production company, experiential company. I didn't even know what those words meant at the time. We put on shows with Lady Gaga, U2. I was like, so what are you calling me for? And they said he wants to create this candy experience, and you're the Candy Queen, and he knows you can do it. I thought it was a prank.
Yeah.
And literally a month later, I have this group from Taiwan on my doorstep of our workshop in Southern California, in Los Alamitos. And it's, you know, they're here. And they presented me this entire deck of, it was very FBI feeling too. I was like, how do you know all this information about me?
Oh, wow.
All this stuff about my business, my life, the TV show, everything I do. And it was an opportunity to create my first, what became experiential ticketed attraction museum.
Yeah.
New business. And again, my manager, Cameron, was like, what? Like, you're green, you're new, but I believe in you, chick. And let's do this. Wonderful 6-figure deal overseas. Took 13 members of my team.
Wow.
Including my parents. I worked them into the deal.
Did you really?
You know, sometimes we can work things in our favor. And I was like, oh, my parents are on my team. I just wanted them to experience this with me. It was like once in a lifetime. And I created what is called the Hollywood Candy Queen's Kingdom. It was my first ticket sale driven experiential museum. Now that they're called pop-ups here in the US.
Yeah, pop-ups.
And you buy a ticket and you go to the pop-up and you take a bunch of cool pictures and you learn a bunch of cool stuff. And it's, you know, some of them are selfie factories. We were a little different, had, I think, more substance to us. But it was all of my candy art, sculptures, a gallery out of candy portraits, Van Goghs, Picassos.
I saw that.
Candy
Dude,
Warhols.
That was crazy. Candy Warhol.
And it was...
There was a Versace thing, and I was like, there was one that was Pitbull.
Yes, we did Pitbull for our latest thing. But it was really...
like Pitbull and candy. That's amazing.
It was entertainment. It is entertainment.
Totally.
What I do is experiential, interactive entertainment.
Yeah.
And again, bringing me back to the core message. I just want people to have fun. I want people to be happy. I want people to experience something unique and a little out of this world.
Yeah.
I used to say, like, I just want to create OMG moments of joy, because I love when we all go, oh my gosh, what is that? And that's what I did.
OMG moments of joy.
Yeah. And now we've evolved that into, like, what do you exist for, Candy Queen? Outrageous moments of joy. That's all I want to do.
Wow.
And so Taiwan.
That would be OMJ. Outrageous moments of joy.
Now it's OMJ.
OMJ.
You're right. Now it's a new one.
I like that.
But Taiwan toured Southeast Asia, sold millions of tickets for many, many years. Then China came calling in like 2016, 17. Hey, we love what you did in Taiwan. We want to do it in China. Launched another exhibit called The Candy Darling.
Nice.
Went to China, took my team out again. My husband and I go. I launch Candy Darling. They sell tons of tickets. They sell tons of merch, retail component at the end. My dream was to bring it to the United States. The timing was finally here and right. When I saw this thing on the Today Show, pop-ups are launching, and Museum of Ice Cream launched in Brooklyn.
Museum of Ice Cream, that's right. Yeah.
Called my manager. Oh my God, it's here. My museums are here. It's here, it's here, it's here. I know it's here. And we already did this in Asia. That sort of led to some conversations with some people in New York. And went into partnership, and I was able to create Candytopia, which became the venture that I'm probably most known for, in addition to the TV stuff. Candytopia launched, in 2017, Santa Monica, 10 locations later, many, 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 many millions of dollars later. Millions of people so happy, and learned a lot from that venture. Everything that may look sweet isn't always as sweet as it seems. I had to go through entrepreneurial learnings. I had my ass handed to me. It was a wonderful, wonderful success. It still is, but it also taught me my biggest lessons, which is now where I'm at with my next venture. And so the road may really look incredible online.
Yes.
And you see all these happy, beautiful pictures. And oh my God, Candy Queen, you're so cute. But I think that the lessons and the hard stuff is what allows us to continue.
Yeah. And I think the lessons and the hard stuff are what paralyze most people.
Yep.
Right. But there's nothing that can prepare you for that. Right.
Yep.
So some of the stuff that you've learned along the way, nothing could have prepared you for that.
Right.
Right. It was just like, it's the cost of doing business. It's stuff you learn. It's people will let you down.
Yes.
It's shit happens. Yep. Right. Like it's just, it is what it is, but you have to take those chances and kind of do it. Right.
Yeah.
And so that leads me into like my next kind of question is looking back, right? Like you've done so much, right? Like starting from literally, if you look back and going to New York and $400 in your bank account, right? Like, okay, I'm going to go to New York and this is a great idea. And you're like, roll of the dice, right? Like, all right, let's see what's going to happen.
Yep.
And then starting one business and then starting the next one and then $25 website, right? Like, if you would look back, what would you tell young Jackie? Like, what would you have done differently, or what things you think you would have changed? Maybe not changed, because I think everything's part of the process.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think you can change anything, but if you're like, man, I would have done this a little bit differently. Maybe it's start sooner. Maybe it's invested with other people or have other mentors. Like, what would you have maybe done a little bit differently? Anything jumps out at you?
Yeah. So, when I first started, and even when I was a kid, it's just part of my personality. I was very driven by connection, emotion, feelings, unicorns. Everything's magical. Yeah. I just want to make life beautiful for everybody. And I believe that. Yeah. And I just thought people were so good. No one's gonna, people aren't, we're good at the core. And I think that the bigger I have grown, the more success I have created for many, many people. And it's not little success. It's for me, I think, the dollar amounts were just astronomical. Yeah. And I looked and said, oh my God, I did that. And I did it with some great people that I brought on board. Unfortunately, trust is really fragile, and trust is really hard to come by. And when you trust someone with your life, your magic, your ability, your power, your everything, your business. Yeah. If you trust the wrong people or person, you're going to learn that really the hard way. And what I found with most entrepreneurs and now it's like, okay, now I'm always going to be an entrepreneur. I'm a mom, I'm a parent, I'm so many hats. But what's the biggest hat I wear, I really think is, you got to say mom, but entrepreneur too. But it's right, because that's what drives me. Of course, I love my family. I die for them. Everything is literally for them, and they know that. They own my soul, Christian and Bella. Do. You do. And Charlie and Willie, the dogs. But I am really driven by this need to want to create stuff for the world that is so rad and just special. I won't stop. For me, it's like a drug. I can't stop. Yeah. But the learnings in trusting the wrong people, and when I say having your ass handed to you in business, like many entrepreneurs will say, I lost, I was duped, I was bamboozled, I got into bed with the wrong dudes. I'm a female. And obviously, I don't see this like, men rule the world, women are so like all these different ideals. Like, I just think we're all awesome and capable. But in some cases, in many positions that I've been in, dudes were the shot callers, and they took my sparkle and my magic and all this specialness and all this hard work, 15 years of nonstop dedication, and kind of ran with it in a way that I go, I lost control. I trusted the wrong people.
Too much trust.
And
people will let you down.
they will let you down.
They will let you down.
And I
but they
say
can't.
it,
They can't take you down.
right? But you feel like they almost can. And so some of the stuff that I've been through, I would say even in the last 3 to 4 years, has been so painful and so traumatic and so scary. I'm still going through some of it now, by the way, but I got big balls and I just keep going because when you know I've done the right thing, I didn't do anything, you know, like I've done all I can.
Got to keep pushing.
I think there is a necessary, you've got to be accountable for even your naivete. And you've got to be accountable for things that you've overlooked. You've got to be accountable when things go sideways and you go, shit, I trusted this person who might have just been a bad actor at the time because he saw opportunity in me.
Yeah.
And I got my ass handed to me. And now I feel like doing due diligence is really important. Practicing the pause. When we are creatives, especially creatives, all the entrepreneurs I speak to who are creatives, you always have, I feel like you've got the money guys and you've got the creatives.
Yeah.
So you've got the money guys that you need, money guys or girls, because you need them to help you make your dreams come true and you need financing and capital or private equity or whatever. All these, I would never speak that way, by the way, 10 years ago. I would never say those words. But I've learned. So it's like we have to do this dance and formulate this marriage that helps us all. Yeah. And I always lived in this world that thinking, we're all going to win together. Oh my God, I'm going to work so hard. You're never going to meet anybody that works harder than me. It makes me cry. But I'm just like, no, people will, they will take advantage. Yeah. If you are in bed with the wrong people and the wrong partners, they can destroy your whole world. If it gets to that point. Yeah. If you're strong, you come back from anything. Thank God I can come back from anything. But holy crap, when I tell you, and I'm literally sitting here looking at you thinking, what am I legally allowed to say? Who cares? I'm so over it. No, I'm so over it. Where I think
it comes down to you have to.
I just want to help people be smarter. Please don't let me be your learning lesson because I still have so much goddamn magic in me, and we have. Do you think the millions that we made were a lot? Wait till we make billions and turn that into millions and billions, and everybody wants to grow their company and do an astronomical empire. I get it. Yeah. I don't need all that.
I think you have to align yourself with the right people, and I think what you said is so true, right? Because in my business, they say trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets.
Thank you. I need to adopt that.
Right? And it's so true. Yeah. Because you earn it drip by drip by drip, and then boom, gone. And sometimes you won't get it back. Yep. Right? Like, and that's just with people. And it's also, kind of what you said as far as surrounding yourself with the right people. It's being slow to bring those people in, right? I think when you're younger in business and you're starting out, you're just like, I need help. Yes. I want people, like, what can you do? Okay, good. Bring me in because I don't know, right? Ultimately, you're bringing in people to offset your weaknesses. Yep. Right? Like, you're like, hey, I'm really good at sparkle and magic, but I'm not good at this. Yeah. And this guy or girl is really good at that. Yep. So let's bring them in where now I think you've learned I have to be more careful about who I bring in and that process, because before there wasn't a process. It was like, sure, I'm going to bring you in. Cool.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. You know, and you trust your gut a little bit because your gut's gotten you a long way. Yeah. Right. But at the same time, I think you learn over time. It's like you have to have the right people around you, and people will inherently let you down. Like, I know it sucks. I hate that because I'm like you, right? Like, I see the good in people and I feel like everybody's got a good side and there's so much negativity out there that, like, let's give sunshine and rainbows, right? Mm-hmm. But inherently, like, people suck and they will let you down, you know?
Like, I'll sit here, Joe, and I'll tell you, like, this next venture that I'm launching with a partner who I probably can't even legally say their name right now, but who cares?
Don't do it.
I won't do it. But I love her so much. And it's a her this time.
Ooh,
that's different for me. Like, this next venture I've been formulating for 15 years. The last 15 years of becoming the Candy Queen. The 15 years of success that I've had from literally starting my $25 website out of my garage, broke and pregnant with nothing. Wow. And just ideas and a dream and the ability to, like, watch what people respond to and trusting my gut. This next venture that we're launching and so excited to launch is like the 15-year culmination of my life and my career. And I've been watching what like, what is the world doing? What are people responding to?
Yeah.
What is commerce doing? And I'm really excited about what we have, what I have created. Like,
Nice.
I die for this.
That's
I have
awesome.
studied, listened, learned, read every book, listened to every podcast. I have just educated myself on all the things that I didn't do when I was younger because I struggled.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, guys, I gave myself my own Harvard degree. You know, it's literally
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, you ask me like what I love to ask people, like, what books do you read? Because you can tell a lot by people I think when people are really invested authentically, it's like, do you read? Do you educate yourself? Are you taking in knowledge? What are you learning? What did you learn? What do you know now that you didn't know? I didn't know a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Now I literally, and like my Audible library is so impressive to me.
Next time we bring you on, we're going to go through the
doesn't
Audible
need to
library.
impress anyone
that might be a
else.
good thing,
I'm
right?
like,
We'll be
dude.
like, so what's in your Audible?
Yeah, I'm like, when you don't know something, go learn it. Don't be lazy. Don't make excuses. Go. Stop listening to like garbage and fill yourself with knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, all the Harvard business books that I've got in my back pocket, they are so boring, by the way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to learn it because I will not go into another venture without being better, smarter, faster, stronger, bigger balls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited for what we're going, and we're about to launch something, you know, in the next few months that here I am going to be on the road again, working so hard again, sacrificing so much again. That's my personal fuel. That's what I was born for.
Totally.
And I love it. And I'm going to employ people and create magic and make people so happy and kids happy and families happy, which is always our purpose, promise, why, our core message.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do it with better people.
Yeah.
Because that, for any person in business, it's like you got to get burned to get really good.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
You do. You fail.
It's part of the story.
It's part of the story. It's part of the journey, right?
If you just have everything's been amazing for my last 70 years of life, it's not real.
That's not real.
Because I like things that are real.
Yeah. Any real business owner, right? Like for me, it was like some ups and downs and lots of lows. And yeah, I got my butt kicked through the crash, right? Like that's 07, 08. It's funny when you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like I was on the other end of that.
Ugh.
Right? Like I was taking from Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
I was literally like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like poor Kim Soto was working 7 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
Like basically keeping our family alive. Right.
Yeah.
And you were like, looked at this time and it's so interesting. Like when you said it, like my eyes lit up because I'm thinking we're in a world right now where people are saying the economy is bad and things are slowing down and you know, recession, but yet you were in that same time in 2008 where things were on the downturn for most. And you said, there's an opportunity. Like I can do something and make something in this time. And you created something great during a time where most people were being scared, they contracting, they didn't want to do anything. They were paralyzed by the market or the economy.
Yeah.
And you put yourself out there.
Well,
right? You took action.
You know, what's so funny about that time that I remember is just inherently like knowing when we are scared. I think I went back to my kid feelings, like being such a loner kid. When we're scared and when we're lonely and when we're depressed, all we want to do is feel good. All we want to do is feel happy again. So it's so like my industry, whatever, confectionery sales, right? When you look at the numbers of how massive this industry is in the billions of dollars, it is statistically proven that confectionery sales do better during economic hardship and downturns because people will afford themselves these little luxuries because
makes them feel good.
I just want to feel good. If I go buy a scoop of my favorite ice cream, if I go to the candy store
Comfort
because it makes it,
food.
if I go get my cupcake. And so for me, even not knowing, like I didn't know a lot of things. And I hate to say it, but like I kind of grew up always being like, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb kid. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the opposite of that.
Totally.
But I learned my own way. And so that is what I know about my industry. It's a very simple thing. But when things are not great, when you can make people feel good, do something, the simplicity of something it's so simple. It's beautiful, it's yummy, it's fun, it's easy. That's all I wanted to do.
And I think that can translate into any industry, right? It's funny because I'm reading Raving Fans with my team.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Raving Fans?
What is that about?
So it's a good little book. It's about creating a raving fan experience, kind of like an OMG moment, right? But having that in your business to where people like I'm in mortgage. There's 1,000 mortgage companies.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 lenders, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you create a process to make people become not just satisfied customers, but raving fans?
Yeah.
And so when you say that, it makes me think like just adjusting your processes and doing things to make people say, wow, right? And even in my industry or whatever it is, it could be a tire shop. Like if you read the little book, I have a copy. I'll give you a copy.
Yeah.
If you read the little book, there's a part of it where they talk about going to the grocery store and having a wow experience at a grocery store. And you would like, a grocery store?
Yeah.
But it could be in anything, right? And so it's going back to kind of what you're saying is letting people leave with that feeling, right? Where they're grateful, they're thankful, they're better. Like you leave them like a little more pep in their step. And so it's hard in my industry because people love looking at homes, right? They'll scroll through Zillow all day long.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about the mortgage payment on a house, and they're like, oh, do we have to talk about that right now?
Yeah.
So
Buzzkill.
it's something that we're working on because it's part of what you said. It's having that, giving people that experience in not just candy, but in whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
If you own an auto shop, if you run a gym, if you have a dry cleaner, like give people more than what they expect, right? And I love that OMG moments and making them say wow, because I think we've gotten away from that in this world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, you're making my wheels spin as we're, getting ready to launch this next venture. And again, it's those experiences that make people remember you, make them want you, turn, someone into a repeat customer. With what I'm trying to do, it's this next venture, I think most likely kids will start with us at a young age, and I want them to grow up with me. I want them to remember this is the place I go to. And then my mom had my birthday there, and it was the best birthday of my life. And then every time I just, I want my little treat, I go there and I go see them at and it's actually called Candyology. But it's just, as I think about what do we really want this next venture to feel like and represent? How do I want it to resonate and connect with people? Because I'm not looking to be a one-trick pony. Like, I am looking for longevity. I like to build, when launching a venture, I'm like, what is the legacy company going to be that we're super proud of when I'm a little old lady and I'm about to die and my kids are going to take this thing over?
Yeah.
or whatever it's going to look like. What did we do?
Yeah.
And again, I just wanted to make people feel good and feel special for a moment. And of course, along with that is hopefully a lot of success and building this business. And but yeah, I think if you remember like the core values, that is what propels the success. But people get away from that.
Yeah.
That's what's hard about business is
totally.
Once you let other people, or once you get in bed with other people, everybody kind of has a seat at the table, and you respectfully have to, unless
it was easier
unless you create the structure in a way where you're always kind of the voice, the driving force, which you can do. Because what I learned a lot about business is there's all kinds of deal structures.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different ways to do things. I didn't know that before. You can remain in control. You can remain you can't, like, all the things that matter to you can stay intact.
Yeah.
But it's also like once the business starts to grow and grow and grow and grow.
Scale.
And it just depends. Yeah. So once you're ready to scale this mother, it's like, all right, who are you bringing into the family?
Yeah.
They matter.
Totally.
They really matter.
Man, well, Jackie, this is super cool. I learned a lot, and this is really super awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and tell us a little bit about your journey and your story and going from SoCal to New York and just quiet, intrusive Jackie in her room playing with her dolls.
Yeah.
To going to the big city, to coming back and just doing all of these really cool things, right? And just I always say it's about making the world a little bit of a better place.
Yep.
Right. In a world of negativity, it's a matter of being that shining light, and you do that on so many levels. And it's so cool to know you and be close to you and see this and learn this. And I'm just super grateful. This is cool.
Joe's
super
trying
cool.
to make me cry, everyone.
No crying.
He's getting really close to it.
No.
Where's the light? I learned this trick. Wait, I learned this trick on TV. When you want to cry, you open your eyeballs.
And you look at the light.
Look at the light.
No crying.
Stop making me try.
No crying.
Yeah, no, it's been lovely. And I think you and I are similar that way, where we just want people to know, like, go for it. And try really hard.
Yeah.
But I think the core message of like this short little life that we all have is like, do something good with your life and like, be easier on yourself. We're all doing our best.
For sure.
You know? Yeah.
Well, next time we bring you back, we're going to talk about the new venture. We're going to get into your Audible. We're going to have some more Chris impressions. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll drink more tequila.
We'll drink more tequila. It'll be good. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I love you and I'm grateful for you.
Well, I love you, my friend, and keep killing it because you are natural and a rock star.
I appreciate it.
Keep doing this. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Cool. And yeah, just real quick, sponsor shout out to my boy Tim Jarvis at Comma Insurance. He is the man with the plan. Give Tim a call.